anybody has anything dire they're wondering about with us. So it's all perfect. All right, we're going live on YouTube, and I'm going to turn the mic over to you, Iris, to pray us in.
Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, all. And I will pray us in. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent Him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because He who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever He wishes, knowing He goes there with me. I will be healed as I let Him teach me to heal. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Iris, and welcome everybody. So let us get on. I think we may have gotten pretty far last week, but maybe not. I rely upon my trusty companions here to tell me where we're at in the book, but I think we're still right about here. Did we get through anything? It seemed to me like we went through things really fast last week, but maybe not. Anybody know where we're at? Mickey? Oh, Iris has her hand up. Go ahead, Iris.
Thanks, Lynn. I do remember that we were about to start the decision for God.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but I think we did read something last week, but I would not mind going back and starting it again because it's a good chapter.
Yeah, it is. And you know, the decision for God, that's where Bruce and I were just quoting from the how to make the decision. I must have decided wrongly because I'm not at peace. So but if you don't mind going back, and I'd be happy to do that. Um because we had, where would you like to go?
Like right at the beginning.
At the beginning
Yeah.
of time and eternity, or
No,
the
like
decision?
where it says, like in chapter 5. Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah, that place. Yeah, like right in the beginning. Do you
Okay.
read? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we hadn't actually started this, so I think we're going to start it now. So who would like to read? Do you want to read?
Yeah, I will
Okay.
read.
Okay, good.
So, the decision for God. Do you really believe that you can make a voice that can drown out God's? Do you really believe you can devise a thought system that can separate you from Him? Do you really believe you can plan for your safety and joy better than He can? You need be neither careful nor careless. You need merely cast your cares upon Him, because He careth for you. You are His care because He loves you. His voice reminds you always that all hope is yours because of His care. You cannot choose to escape His care because that is not His will. But you can choose to accept His care and use the infinite power of his care for all those he created by it. Hmm. This is this is really really amazing. Because like when I heard like Lynn was sharing earlier, I was like doing some work, and then like I switched on the radio, and what Lynn shared, and this paragraph and this title, The Decision for God, is I really think that it is really quite, I would say it would be really the only thing that we need to know. And the reason is that like when Lynn was sharing, it was like it just made sense, as in like that part where Jesus was saying, I mean, Jesus did not say like, oh, you betrayed me, and like you I mean, he's probably been like helping these disciples for a very long time, and no one actually stood up for him. And and just maybe because they were afraid or whatever, like, but he didn't say that uh uh that the disciples never like stood up for him, or he didn't say that. And it's true, because um like in the mind, like in like the thoughts that we are aware of, like we're having to constantly decide for God. Like, I mean, speaking for myself, like literally constantly. And that's why like I think this is a really good, I mean, like the whole chapter, but especially the title, The Decision for God, um is really, it is a decision. Like because there'll be a ton of thoughts going on, like you know what Lynn was sharing, like, I mean, just the gas prices have gone up, and then there's like the war, and then there's this other war, and like it's, we're just bombarded with these things. Like, I mean, speaking for myself, you know, when during like my work day, I get bombarded with, you know, like, oh, why is this happening? This should be like this. Like, oh, why is this not happening? And why is this like this? And it's late. And oh no, I should hurry up, and all this stuff. And like, so I find myself I find myself having to decide for God, like the whole time, like the whole day. Like in the morning when I decide for God, yes, like everything seems like really absolutely perfect. And then I go into work, and it's like it's all these different things, and it's like deciding for God, like however we do that, you know. Um and so that's why I really love this title, because um it is it says everything, and it's like that lesson that I really like. I mean, I really come back to it a lot, and I've got these few lessons that I keep returning to, just because like they just help massively. So like this lesson 90, uh, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And let me recognize my problems have been solved. And like, I won't be able to see it in my body size. Like, I won't be able to, but whenever I do this lesson, which is like every time I have something and I'll do this lesson, like I'll just feel better. I'll just feel better. And um and I think it's kind of like trusting God more than trusting our own mind, like our own thoughts. And I think that's why, like, I really think this is really actually super important. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Thank you so much, Iris. And yeah, isn't that absolutely true? That it's you may get up in the morning and do the rules for decision, and I won't make any decisions by myself today. And you have all that intention in your mind, and then you turn on the news, or you get on the highway or the bus to go to work, or you get to work, or something will come up. Always something will come up. And you can count on it. That's the nature of the world. And so to have this in your pocket, to have this notion right away, that I whatever it is, God is here, and none of this can drown out God's voice. None of this can drown out God's voice. None of this can separate me from God. I don't have to try to figure out what to do or what to say or anything. I don't need to be careful. I don't need to be careless. I just need to let Him take care of it. This paragraph to me is so um, uh, beautiful because it just points out to me the fallacy of thinking that my own thinking can get me, can do anything, change anything, fix anything, make anything different or better. Um, I just have to know that God cares about me and He loves me, and He is always here to show me His care and His love. Um, and I can't, this sentence 7 here, you cannot choose to escape His care because that is not His will. He's not saying, you can change me. We can't change God. We would have to be able to change God to change His will, that He loves us. I can't choose that God doesn't love me. I can't choose that God doesn't love somebody else. I can't choose that God does anything because God is what God is. But I can choose myself to accept the care. I can choose myself to be loved. Will you be loved? Will you allow yourself to be loved? To be cared for, to be carried, to be planned for. I had a whole dilemma in my mind about my daughter who is living in a town far from me that, she lives in a camper van, and we wanted to bring her camper and her over here to Pueblo, and trying to figure, I mean, I was going through all sorts of things. We could rent to this, we could do that. And then I just had to stop because I was going crazy from it. And I just had to say, if it's God's will, whatever it is that's in the plan, that's what's going to happen. All of my consternation, all of my fear and upset, it's meaningless. I can just be here and be cared for. And like I was telling Bruce before, then I just do the Ho'opono. I'm sorry, I thought I could plan for myself. Please forgive me for imagining that somehow or the other I have a better plan than you have. Uh, Thank you for being here for me and always loving me and planning for me. And I love you. I could say those four things to God. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. I could say those four things to God and to myself, and remember the truth that I don't have to plan. What makes me think I have to plan? What makes me think I have to care about it? What makes me think I have to think about it at all? What my part here is to just be here and be grateful that it's all being taken care of and that there is nothing to fear, nothing to worry about, nothing to plan for. Um, the only thing there is to just be here and be loved. I don't know. Does anybody, let's see. Yeah, and Rafi says, I am loved and I can love. I am loved and I am loved. Yes. Iris, yes, then Mickey. Go ahead, Iris.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I completely relate. I completely relate to what you shared. I know, I do experience that a lot because, sometimes, I'd be told that, oh, your project is behind, or your project is behind, and then like the voice starts going on, like the thoughts start. I know what it is. It's like the I know that it's the worldly, it's basically the amygdala hijack. It's and it just kind of goes on, and it makes a story and a scenario and many different scenarios. And then, but you're right, because like what does help is just quieting it down, like however we do it. With Lynn mentioned the Ho'oponopono, and or like releasing these thoughts and these feelings. And I mean, it really does help a lot. It does. And like it might take a while, then I'll do it again, and then whatever it was will just fix itself. It will just somehow like just fix itself. And then, but it's a good practice. I would say it's a good practice, but it's not like fun. It's not like it's not fun when it's happening, but it is good practice. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
I love that. It's not fun, but after a while it does become fun, Iris. I can guarantee you that because there will be a time when you're just going to just sit back and watch and go, wow. And you can do that even now. Look at the past. All the things you planned for, all the things you thought about, all the things you tried to make happen, and what actually did happen, and how things fell into place, and how people changed their minds, or whatever it was. And you're just sitting there, your mind is spinning like, how did all this happen without my intervention? And yeah, you can do that. You don't have to care about anything because he cares for me. Not just that he cares about me because I'm his child. He's the one taking on the care. He's the carer. Mickey, please go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. You know, look at that first sentence. Do you really believe you can make a voice that can drown out God's? In other words, do you think that any of your thoughts, do you think any of the things that ego is telling you, which is the voice we make, right? Do you think you can make a voice that can drown out God's? Stop listening to that nonsense. I mean, basically, that's what he's telling us here. St- don't believe the hype. Okay, I'm probably the only person of my generation that wants to start quoting a Public Enemy rap song from the 90s. Don't believe the hype. Do you really believe you can make a voice that can drown out God's? Do you really believe you can devise a thought system that can separate you from Him? We keep listening. And I do all the time. I keep falling for it over and over again. And all I can do is keep telling myself, stop it. You're listening to the wrong voice. I don't know how many times a day I say that to myself. You cannot choose to escape his care because that is not his will. You can choose to listen to another voice, but that is not his will. You can choose to value something that is valueless, but that is not his will. And in the end, his will is all there is, right? I mean, we gotta stop fighting it. All we have to do is stop fighting with God. You gotta laugh. Okay, I think I'm done. Thanks.
Yeah, and it's you make me think about like, how a baby, like a little one, they'll get the idea that they can feed themselves. And so, they fuss until you give them the spoon, and then they flip the food all over and they miss their mouth, and they're and if you were only there feeding them, they would be getting fed, but then they get really frustrated because they're not getting any food, because they're trying to feed themselves. And there will be a time when they can feed themselves. You're not going to feed a baby their whole life. But when they're incapable of doing it themselves, you have to do it for them. You want the child to survive. You don't want them to starve. That's how God is with us. His will is that we be fed, and our will is, choosing how we get that. Um, but yeah, because it seems when you think about, well, it's God's will. Well, it seems like God's a big bully, but God is not a big bully. That baby thinks mom's a big bully. She's not giving me that spoon. You know, you're not a big bully. You're just trying to help, or helping in the way that the help needs to be. Um, so, I know that maybe other people don't have that perception, but every time I read about God's will, I'm like, well, you know, he's not the boss of me. Because I'm that baby and I want that spoon. Iris, yes, please go ahead.
Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, that uh like like exactly, like when I hear oh, it's not God's will that I do this, or it is God's will about this, and uh I don't know how I feel about that anymore, because I mean, I do actually, because like God's will is our will. It's the same will. And uh it's I'm the same as him. And I is all of us. Like, we are the same will. We have the same will. So uh I love that. I love that because the other way is, I will just say it reminds me of superstition, like that's not God's will, uh, and that is God's will. And that's very, to me, that's like nowadays, it's very much like judgment and superstition. But when I say like my will and God's will is the same, uh, we have the same will, that feels right. That feels true to me. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you, Iris. Yeah, and yeah. I have to work on it myself, and I love that. Rafi, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, constantly. And this paragraph reminded me that I'm divinely guided, I'm divinely protected, I'm divinely provided for constantly. That this infinite, constant, loving support is always there. Why would I do anything else but give myself to that? I mean, like we get right back to that's a no-brainer. I mean, it's woo. The sentence is you cannot choose to escape his care because there's no way. We really believe that you got a thought system that you can separate yourself? Are you serious? Wake up and just give myself to it completely. It's the only thing that makes any sense. I just wanted to share that. Thanks.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, and the whole idea that we're afraid of our own power because we think we have the power to separate ourselves from God and to go about our own little way and have our own little will. That's why we're afraid of our own power, but we can't, never have been able to. That was a joke. Karen, good morning. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, sound good.
Okay, good. I'm off my computer because I don't know, Mickey said it wasn't working good, so I'm letting it rest for a while. Hopefully I'll figure it out. So yeah, I was listening on the radio, and the first thing that came to me when Mickey was reading, do you really believe you can make a voice that can drown out gods? Do you really believe? He says it 3 times. Do you really believe? And yes. And when I'm in it, I believe it. And it happened to me today. And so what came to me was in the Laws of Chaos, where he says, brother, you do believe them. And I think he even emphasizes do. You do believe them. You do believe these laws of chaos that you made. When you are in it, you are believing it. And it is a decision, which I heard you guys saying early. It's a decision. I'm deciding right now to be in hell. And that's what I did. And I knew what I was doing. And I did it anyway. And so I was on my way home from the store. And I was today's a very bad pain day for me. Like my screws they're loose and they're really bothering me, and it's just severe today. And I had to shop anyway, so I had to get through it. But I was just, I don't know, like it just all hit me, and I was just disgusted. And my uncle said, well, why are you so quiet? I said, because I'd rather not say anything because I don't trust what might come out of my mouth if I speak. So I'd rather just be quiet because the thoughts that were going through my mind were insane. And I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to even say anything because I didn't want to put out that energy. But I knew what I was doing, and I knew as I was making a decision, and I knew that I could choose again. And eventually I did. But that's the thing. When you're in it, it is freaking, man, like not always easy for me when I'm in it. But I do trust that I will get through it, and I do know that I can change my mind, and I do change my mind. And I don't stay there as long as I used to, but today was one of those days, and brother, I did believe them in that moment. And I'm grateful to hear you guys and be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Oh my gosh, yes. And think about it. Think about it. Think how strong you are, that you can control that little voice that is just screaming. And I know how it is to be in pain or to be in physical distress, and your thought is, I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to say anything or do anything that's going to upset somebody else. I don't want them to worry about what I'm going through. And so I will be quiet. I will restrain, and I will, that is a love. Do you see how that love, that reminds me of those poems that we were just reading from Ken? That is a love that you're just willing to be that and control that so that you don't hurt anyone else or upset anyone else, say things that you don't want to say. God bless you. God bless you. I love you. Yes, go ahead, Karen. You had your hand up.
No, I wanted to do a heart, and I did the hand and said, no, I'm good. But thank you, Lynn. Thank you. I just wanted to do a heart.
Uh, well, you got my heart. Does anybody else have any? Oh, Sharon, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that Karen, I think what you're doing is perfect because the voice doesn't mean anything. The character that we're playing is meaningless. So, what I do when I have pain is I talk to the character and it just soothes me. And that's just, even though that's not the Holy Spirit, because the Holy Spirit knows I'm not even there, and really the Holy Spirit is just the higher voice, the higher mind. But I feel, Karen, that you deserve a big hug from every one of us because bone pain is very painful. And so I just wanted to say that. And, as far as, the process, it's happening on its own. We can't stop it. If we had our leg taken off or our arm taken off, none of that would stop it because it's going by itself. It's, I often wondered when teaching would say, you're not the doer or the thinker. But I've arrived now realizing that nothing here we're looking at a review of what happened. That's all we're looking. You can't fail it because you're already over. And we're here to review what we did in this lifetime. But I don't think it really matters, um, you just have to have so much compassion for the little self because the little self isn't real and there's nothing in it but a voice box, but it feels things. And when you give it that kind of gentleness, it just backs off. It's when we come up against it and think we're wrong or we're bad or we're guilty or whatever. So I just wanted to share that because I feel a lot of compassion for anyone going through anything. When I was going through a lot in my process, I couldn't think of anything. I wasn't even in the truth too much because I was having just a different experience, but I still listened to it because I knew the higher mind had to get stronger. So I don't know. I feel like we're all in this together. And, I know true empathy and what that means, but the compassion I have for anyone that's hurting is right here, right now, because we are not asked, we're asked to never deny our experience, not ever. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you, Sharon. And I do appreciate that so very much. That's absolutely right on. And I appreciate your compassionate heart as well. Rafi, please go ahead. And then I saw Kathy had her hand up too, but you do what you want. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, Karen, when I get into situations that were similar to what you just described, the first thing I do is, what am I supposed to learn from this? How is this helping me? What do I, because everything works for us, not against us. It's not happening to us. So I always look at it, okay, what is the lesson here? What am I being taught? What's the trigger? And I go inside and examine my thinking and correct it. And if any negative or non-loving feelings come up, welcome them and let them go. Welcome everything because it's all here specifically designed for our benefit by this infinite, constant, loving support. that knows the way, that is the way, and we come from it, so we are that way. And that helps us get into the harmony with that. But I hope that helps. Thanks.
Thank you, Rafi. And yeah, I know we can all look at our own experiences and think of when, we were able to do that, and that does give you a lot of hope that you can do it again. And it just and you can. I mean, I see you, Karen. You've gone through all kinds of shit, and you're still going. You're like the Energizer bunny there. You just keep going and going. Uh, because that, this is not a permanent situation. This is not a permanent situation. It's a temporary situation. And when it's over, you're going to look at it and laugh. Unfortunately, that ain't happening right now. Kathy, yes, please go ahead.
Mm, thank you, Lynn. Yes, thank you for that last part. That saying, it's not happening or it's past, and yet right now, that's where I really can sink is when I fall into it. What's going on all around me, and it's that becoming so scattered. And Rafi, I always love whatever you share. You just feel so solid in it, and I can be there, and I have been there. And then sometimes I think it's when I just feel like I can't take it anymore. It's like that final straw. It's just you've got it, you do it, it's good, and then it's like I can get that overwhelming feeling, and then I lose myself, and that's where I interfere and get in the way of hearing, that trust, knowing that I am supported and loved, and yeah, it can be brutal sometimes, and whether it's brutal pain in the heart or brutal pain in our body or bones, whatever it is, it's just, and in my heart, I've learned that that is what brings us to here. That's what brings us to a room like this, which is so lovely because it's when we fall down on my knees. I always know that's when I'm being offered. Well, it's definitely telling me I'm off, completely off, but knowing you have someone to reach and expose myself when I'm in it. I don't want to hold it down. And I feel like, you know, that's the part sometimes people just can't handle that either. It's like trying to be something other than what you're really feeling in that moment. And yeah, no doubt the pause is critical. I get all of that. And yet knowing you want to just be where you're at and be honest about it so you can let it go. Otherwise, I just trip up on knowing I wasn't authentic, I guess, for myself. And I become a scattered mess. And then I go back into the other, and I am learning to laugh. I am really aware of the joy, and I really believe in it in the deepest depths of my heart. We are here together, and we're here to, reach out our hand and help one another because we aren't alone. And I love the honesty when people share where they're at. So thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, that's honesty. It really is the only way that we're able to get through this. And it would be so tempting to say, "Oh no, I don't experience this," and I've gotten over this and that. I mean, why? I don't know, but I would not like to be in a situation where, I think people are expecting me to be something other than what I'm experiencing. So that's what I love about, people that come to this room. They're honest. Honest to a fault, really. And I appreciate it so much because it gives everybody else the opportunity to be honest as well. And we don't have to put on airs of like, oh, I have this enlightenment thing, so now I'm untouchable. Nope, we're here all every bit authentic as far as I can tell. Karen,
Yeah, and then oh, I
oh,
apologize. I
go
just
ahead.
want to say one thing. It's that part when you do have those little pockets of that enlightenment, which is so amazing and lovely, and like you know it and you get it, and then that's where I think I lose it because I know I'm off when I'm not in it. And it's this thinking you're going to be in it all the time. And if you're not, you're once again, I will blame myself and judge myself. And there you go again. And I think that's sometimes, again, where you know it, you've lived it, you know, when you have that open heart and you go, oh my God, wow. And then something trips me up and then back I go. So I think I'm harder on myself knowing I'm doing it again. And so that's the loveliness of this unconditional loving space to be able to say, yeah, yeah, you did it again, but laugh instead of just mutilate myself. The guilt and shame is really overwhelming. And yet I know that's not to be accepted. I want to accept that love, the unconditional love.
Yeah, and ask yourself, can I love myself as much as God loves me? Can I love myself as much as God loves me?
That's
Or
this, yeah, that's where I get stuck because I guess I feel I'm such a mess at times that I don't allow that in. I just think, but God, did you know? Like you just said, the honesty sometimes too honest. It's like, oh my God, get over myself. But I just want to make sure He knows. You know, I really know. Forgive me for this. I know I really messed up the other day. You know, I really wasn't on my game, and that's the pathetic, sick part of the brain, my brain. When I go
yeah,
into insanity, because I want to know He knows I'm being as honest as I totally can, and that's an endless journey.
right, because you're talking to yourself. You're doubting your own honesty. So God never doubts anything of you. You're the one that's doubting yourself. Or
You're
that's how it
yeah.
is for me anyway.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that because that's really true. I know I do. I know that. And I would look at others and you go, God, they've got it. They've got it, you know, and I'll have it, but then I spin off. So again, that's a repetitive part. And that's the beauty of these groups to just keep reinforcing that part for me.
Thank
Yeah, thank you.
you, Kathy. I love it. Yeah, Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. So beautiful, such supportive, loving people here we got in this group. I'm so grateful. And what you were just sharing about the judgment, that's one thing I can say I don't do anymore. And Ken Wapnick really helped me with that. His operational definition for being in one's right mind is to look at the wrong mind without judgment, because we're going to go through it. And the worst thing that the course tells us is that we're not supposed to feel guilty. Don't feel guilty about anything. This is the process. It's all a process, and we all go through it. And I used to beat myself up black and blue, and I don't do that anymore. So that's a big, huge change. That's a big shift for me, that I'm looking at it. And that's why when I said, well, Jesus in the course says, brother, you do believe them, because he wants us to recognize what we're doing. Look at what you're doing. He says, look at the problem as it is, not the way you set it up. Look at it. It's all about looking. We look at it with the Holy Spirit, and that's the beauty of forgiveness. That's the beauty of the miracle. And that's the beauty of A Course in Miracles. There's no guilt, there's no judgment. This is what's happening, and it's okay. I'm going through it right now, and it's like, okay. And I can laugh at it. I can laugh at myself for being insane. I'm just insane. I'm out of my right mind. I lost my mind, and we all do it. So the one thing about it is I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. And I know God never changes his mind. I can change my mind when I want to be stubborn, but God never changed his mind, and nothing can change that. So I'm just so grateful. And yeah, thank you all so much for all your beautiful, helpful comments. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen. And yeah, and I think about you and I'm like, yeah, from the time that I first knew you, the certainty in your heart seems just so much stronger. And of course, you've been through hell, So, that's, when you're going through hell, just keep going. Don't stop and hang out, which I'm so glad that you didn't and that you're still moving on. Um, and I love your faithful heart. Because yeah, that's otherwise you wouldn't have been given all this. Really, we actually choose. We're going to come into this world, and this is the thing that we're going to have to deal with, and that choice immediately puts us in a place where we can live with it, knowing that I asked for it. Now I can ask, show me why I asked for it, so that I can let it go. And of course, the bottom line, I'm not a body. The bottom line, I'm not a body. And if we could only get that, that would be the only thing we'd have to know. And so all this other stuff is has no effect because I there's no me in here, uh, relatively speaking, to experience it. It it's not what I am. Iris, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone. I really love this because it's really it's kind of like it's like what Karen was sharing about. She's gonna keep quiet because she doesn't know what's gonna like what she's gonna say. I really relate because I do that every day. And like I have this thing I read every day, which is like this is just because I'm aware of how it's happening in my mind. So I always read this to myself, and it says, "Stay quiet until the mental storm calms down, and then respond with wisdom." So I think like for me, like the best thing that I can do is when like the noise is happening in my head, it's like just keep quiet. And like and then it does quieten down, like it does, and then I can see things clearly again. Like, and the other thing that actually I've actually never been grateful for like the noise in my head. Like especially that noise is very loud when it's in like a work situation. It can get really really loud. But right now, like for first time ever in my whole life, I actually feel grateful for that noise in my head, because what made me grateful for it is that I'm observing it. Like it's not me, it's that I'm observing it. So if I'm observing it, it's not me. So I'm grateful that I'm observing it, and that I'm able to observe it, and I'm able to like look at it, because if I'm looking at it, it's not me. It's just the voice, like the voice in my head. And like because like the other way would be like to judge it, as in like this shouldn't be here, but it is there. And like in some like teachings, they say that it is the survival instinct, like the survival instinct of a human. And like and that's fine. Like it's fine, like knowing that like intellectually, but it does make sense. And um like I think that like there is this saying that like being a human being is a great privilege, and even the angels would want to be a human being because it's a great privilege. and actually in this moment, yeah, I can agree with that 100%, because we can actually observe ourselves, and then we can observe our thoughts. But if we were not a human being, and if we were probably just that thing, we would not have this experience and of knowing what we are. And I'll hand back to Lynn.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Iris. Yeah, even the angels, which we're surrounded by angels. We're surrounded by holy beings. There are light beings everywhere, completely, watching us, caring for us, taking care of us. Um, but they're the same thing as we are, because the equality of the kingdom, all of God's son are equal beings. So, some just have a role of being that support. And I'm just so grateful for that. And they're grateful for what they are as well. So, I love that you brought that up. Um, does anybody else? Oh, Karen, yes, please.
Yeah, Iris, thank you. I really appreciate what you shared. And, it is a blessing. And being a human being and, being open and sharing humanly, I will say a lot of people actually call me, and because they know that I accept their humanness, and they can talk to me about their humanness and stuff they're going through that they may not talk to someone else about. And I'm not saying anything like, oh, I'm special, or nothing like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it because it is being vulnerable. When we're vulnerable, we let other people know that, yeah, we all go through this stuff, and I love when people, like Lynn, you said the same thing. You love when people call you. I love when people call me when they're going through something, because it's helpful. We're helping each other to give and to receive our one. When someone calls with something they're going through, and it's always something physical, always something physical, we're helping each other. We're walking each other home, as Brooklyn's boyfriend said. So, being human and blessing each other and honoring each other where we are, as Sharon was saying, is really important. And I love that about Gather. That is what attracted me to Gather. That is what attracted me to Lynn and Dove. They're very the way Lynn facilitates to me is par excellence. I mean, she the way she leads a group, she really is present. This is my perception, and I think others will agree. And she allows people to share whatever they want to share, as long as they want to share. She'll open it up. She'll go into a deep dive. She won't stop and, okay, we got to go to the next paragraph. Okay, like it's in the moment, and it's beautiful. And it's like, okay, does anyone else have anything to say before she goes to the next paragraph? That is everything to me, and I just love that about Gather and about Lynn and about this group. So I just want to say how much gratitude I have. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Karen. Because, yeah, that is exactly when you were saying that. I was thinking about that song that Marshall Rosenberg sings, I never feel so given to as when you take from me. I mean, that's really giving and receiving are the same thing. And, it's such a blessing to have a place where people can come and freely give and receive. And there's no, that's why, I love it being, no leader, no teacher, no one's the expert here. Where everybody is. But that's the nature um, that Lynn brought into this life, is the deep desire to be equal, to just be equal, and to share, and to have a place where we can all, like the Cheers bar, everybody knows your name. That's the gift. And I'm so very grateful for that. So very grateful that there's a like-minded group of people who are willing to join in that. And so, I don't care what everybody else does. You can have whatever kind of meeting you want. But to me, the meeting that I want is the meeting where every single person can say whatever it is that they need to say, and every other person is willing to listen without judgment and to answer a call for love when it's called for. This is, you guys are my blessing. This is like, I could never have imagined, if someone said, tell me what you would like to do for the rest of your life. Until I had this, I would not have known. But this is such a gift. And I love you all so much. Oh my gosh. Does anybody else have anything to say before I was going to make an announcement about tomorrow. If you got the email, hopefully, with the details for the meeting tomorrow, the John Mundy Easter extravaganza. I'll be there. Brooklyn will be there. Dove will be there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here I'm on this bill here with all these wonderful teachers, and I realize, you know, what man, I am so blessed. Sharon, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say, I've said this for the last, 20 years or maybe 21 years, that Gather was my favorite place to go because we had all different kinds of personalities, but you were always there, Lynn, kind and warm. And Dove allowed everyone in, and everybody, we had diversity in that group as far as personalities, but there, for the most part, it was so loving. And when it closed for a while, it was different for this mind. I'm just so grateful that you opened this up again. It's been a couple of years, but I just love it. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thank you for being a part of it. And thank you for being open-minded and sharing. That's it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work if people are not doing that. So I'm just again so grateful. Uh did okay, did everybody get the notification for tomorrow? Um because I don't want people not to be here because they didn't get the the uh, the notification. But
What time?
that's what I'm looking for. I think it's 10 o'clock Eastern. I'm looking now. What the heck, man? I'll look at my sent. Looking, okay.
Lynn, can you send a recording in this because he puts it out late when I can't make it, and I would love to listen.
Yeah, well, I did get the recording from yesterday's meeting
Yes,
or
I
the other
saw that.
day's meeting. And so I did send that out. So yeah, I will definitely send it out as soon as I get a um, a recording of it. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm trying to.
John is on at 12 noon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's 10 o'clock my time. Yeah.
Oh,
12 noon tomorrow. Yeah. 12 noon tomorrow, 12 to 1. Let me
12
see.
noon is good, maybe. I might be
it's,
back.
it's, it's, it's
Yeah, that's Eastern.
Right, right.
So yeah, let me put this up in the, why is that?
it's an Easter message.
Yeah, Easter and Passover, and we're all talking about different stuff, but here's the here's the flyer for it. And I send out with the link. You should have the link in your email also. But Bill Free is going to be the keynote speaker, which is going to be wonderful. So I love Bill, and Dr. Rod Shelberg is going to be there, and Reverend Dr. Bud James, And then Jody's going to be singing again. I love that. Karen Berner, Lynn Johnson, uh, Reverend Kathleen Regan, and Reverend Lynn Brooklyn Artino. So we're excited about all of this. So please join us and let me know if you didn't get the notification because I'll send it with the link.
Yeah. You can always go to One Mind Foundation.
Right. Or miraclesmagazine.org. Either one of those.
Okay, you're right. Miraclesmagazine.org. You're right.
Yeah, because we're all the same. It's one
Yeah.
organization. So all right, you guys. Have a happy Jesus sleeping in the tomb for a couple days. We know that wasn't really what was happening, uh but there we are. Anyway, I love you guys, and we will see you